Hey YouTube people, this is Jesse, Crab Collector 01, here today for another Transformers review. So the other day I was looking at my YouTube, my video uploads, and I got to looking and I realized that my last G1 Transformers review was 9 months ago. 9 months ago, what's wrong with me that I have just ignored Generation 1 for 9 months ago, the very start of Transformers? So I figured I'll do a G1 review. We'll break out one of the old combining sets and we'll have it a quick go and see what it's all about. So for those of you that don't know this set, this is Generation 1 Computron. This is Nose Cone, Afterburner, Scattershot, Strafe, and Lightspeed, which is, you can't really see, it's a little off camera. But we're going to go into the individual bot modes. I'll show you the individual bots, and we'll move on to the combination to Computron. This is a combining set, which isn't complete. I'm missing a few parts. Mainly I'm missing Lightspeed's 2 guns, Afterburner's large cannon that hangs off the side of his motorcycle mode, and I believe that's it. Everything else I have, but considering this is the G1 original and not the knockoff fake reissue going around, this is the original set with fairly complete, and considering what I paid for it off a good friend of mine, Jason Carnley, he back in the days of Crave, considering what I paid for this set, it was basically it was a steal. He cut me a really good deal on this. So we'll move on to the individual robots first. I'm going to start with the big guy. I'm going to start with Scattershot. Scattershot's a nice jet, actually, and he's got a really interesting transformation for a G1 transformer. He's got nice molded detail, molded in guns. He does come with these kind of like plug post and port guns that if you want you can put them in the top. I usually don't because the peg's a little big and I think that it's going to mess up the ports. But basically Scattershot's pretty cool. He's a jet. These wings will fold. They fold up for the jet mode. And he does have rolling landing gear, which was a pretty cool feature back then. That's his jet mode. But all in all, he's pretty cool on his own, and we'll get into his transformation. But first, I'm going to show you his tertiary mode, his third mode. Kind of like it's more or less a weapons mode, really. You take the chest plate from what's going to be Computron, and there's a couple notches, grooves in it right here, and it slides over these notches here. Then you can press this gray button on a Scattershot, and this will spring-loaded action will open this up, and it becomes kind of like a cannon that other characters can stand behind and wield. It's a little goofy. It's not the best gimmick in the world, but it's Generation 1, and we'll forgive it. Bless his heart, he tries. So we'll move on to the transformation for Scattershot. Basically what you want to do is pull down this nose cone to about right there, which is basically down. Take these, rotate them straight down, and that's going to be his legs. And then this is the interesting part of the transformation that I was telling you guys about. What you want to do is kind of turn this entire section, pull out the arms, rotate it again, so the entire middle of the jet's basically his torso and arms just collapsed in. Then you have to fold this piece over to make the chest, spring up the head, and pull this straight up to on his back. And I think that's a pretty cool transformation for a Generation 1 Transformer. It's really cool. I like it a lot. Scattershot's character and the two main episodes, Grimlock's New Brain and something else, I can't think of it. It's the episode right after Grimlock's New Brain where the primary characters in those 2 episodes was Computron and the other characters. I thought those was 2 really good episodes, and I really enjoyed those as a kid. Scattershot can wield the larger rifle that you will see used for Computron. He can hold it in his hand. He looks quite good with it. It looks like a pretty good sized weapon. But that's pretty much all for Scattershot. What we're going to do with Scattershot now is take him to the combined mode. What you want to do is fold that down, offset him in the middle, that way you can fold these arms up. You're going to leave the chest plate and the head in place. Just push the head down and fold the cannon back up against the back, and then fold the legs in half here at the knee. And that basically comes back to the articulation I was talking about with this guy. He's got some knee action due to the way he combines thigh. The arms will rotate, and he's got the in and out of the arms. Really decent articulation for a Generation 1 toy that you didn't see in many of the other characters or other combining sets. So we've got Computron ready to go. Then what we want to do is take the chest plate, and it's going to clip over his regular chest. And this is the combined mode torso. Then we're going to take Computron's head and just plug it over Scattershot's. We'll set him in the background for right now. Next we'll move on to Afterburner. Afterburner is probably my most favorite of the Technobots. He has I think they refer to it as a grenade launcher, but I'm not for sure. He does have a larger rifle that would be on this side, but I don't have it. It's one of the only parts I'm missing. Transformation is pretty cool. You just fold him basically straight out. Flip this up. Come down here, rotate down the arms, and then put this wheel closer to the back. And there we have Afterburner in his robot mode, which I really like. Afterburner is probably one of my favorites out of this set. He does have a small handgun that he can wield. It's just a small little handgun type deal. It's same molded plastic color as his arm, so it's there if you want it. I like him without it. I think he's pretty cool without it. To get him into his combined mode, what you want to do is pull down the head, flip these straight up, and that's pretty much got him. We just have to Afterburner is Computron's right arm, so we'll need the right fist for this one. And there you have a arm, and we'll plug this guy all together here in a minute. I'm just going to lay him off to the side. Next I'm going to take a look at light speed. This is light speed in his car mode. And another simple, really basic transformation. Just extend the legs, pull these down, fold it up to make toes, fold his arms down, and then take this back section and hinge it down. And there you have light speed. And he's a little bit of a chunk. He's got a big belly. It just hangs off. He's kind of weird proportion. But to get him ready for leg mode, what you want to do is just collapse him and grab your foot plate. And it doesn't really matter which foot plate you use, which was the nice thing about Computron. It doesn't have an L and an R like some of the other sets do. But one of the weird parts with light speed is the way he combines. You actually have to turn him around, so you kind of have to show his ugly side when combining him with all the screws showing. He won't combine forward because of the toes, I don't believe. Let me see. I could be wrong before I get a lot of hate mail on this. Well, maybe you can, but what worries me most about, I would recommend doing this actually, because that puts some stress on these two black parts here, and that's pretty thin plastic on that. I mean, I don't feel like it's going to break, but it's something I definitely wouldn't want to test on a fairly expensive combining figure from Generation 1. So don't do that, guys. Just plug him on backwards like you're supposed to. Next we'll move on to Strafe. Strafe is an arm, and he's also another jet, and he's a pretty cool jet. These guns come off. These are actually Strafe's handguns. Basically, Strafe also has a really simple transformation. You just take this middle bit, rotate it straight up, fold these wings back, and extend him up. And that is Strafe in his plane mode. Get him into arm mode, you just, again, collapse him. Fold the head halfway back instead of completely rotating it for jet mode, and fold the wings in the opposite direction. And what I like to do is take the guns. They have a little notch here that is specifically designed that they only go in one way, so you can't really mess these up. I like to put the guns back on for the combined mode. I think it gives some length to the arm, the overall look of the arm. We'll plug in the fist, and go ahead and plug the gun into this hand as well. Well, not really. Yeah, I think the gun's going to have to go into Afterburner's hand, just because it's got a better accessible port. That's the word I'm looking for. Now we'll move on to nose cone. And to transform nose cone, what you want to do is rotate these. These guns come off. You're actually supposed to take them off. And finish rotating it. And these arms here are on a double hinge. You're going to want to pull these up and down. So up and down. And then just flip the nose cone part back. And there's nose cone in his robot mode. Pretty cool. To get him into his combined mode, basically it's just take the legs. And on mine it's really stiff right there, but then it's really loose right here on this part. It's really stiff getting around and really loose right there, which is weird. But you're going to want to fold it up like that. Basically, you'll take him back to tank mode. And one of the problems with this guy, what you want to watch out for, if you're going to buy this guy on the secondary market, is watch out for the looseness of nose cone, if they even describe it, because it will affect the balance of the figure when he's combined. Because the way he combines, he'll constantly droop back, and it will affect the balance. So that's something you might want to watch out for. But there is something that we can do that will that'll kind of help with that. What you want to do is kind of like reset those arms like you're going back to the drill mode, and put these guns back in place. These if you can't get a decent one with tight joints, at least make sure you have the guns, because that way you can fold them up. And the way the guns kind of push over the side, it gives it a little bit more, you can see it's a little bit stiffer. It gives it some more stiffness. That way you won't have that balance problem as bad. Then we just take a foot plate, plug it in. And the way nose cone's foot plate, or nose cone's pegs are, you really have no choice but to have him offset. So he looks a little offset at all times. And that's just due to the way they did his holes in the bottom of his feet. So now we're ready to combine him. We'll take nose cone and plug him into the bottom. We'll take light speed, plug him into the bottom. Now that we've got him standing, let's raise this camera up a bit. Now that we've got him standing, we just need to take Afterburner, plug him in. Oh, this is always the worst part of a combining figure, is plugging on the limbs. It's always the most stressful part, at least for me, because it's the part that seems like it's going to break. And there we have Computron in robot mode, and Computron is really cool. Minosaur and Computron are probably my two favorite combining teams out of all of G1. Well, at least the ones I own. I can't speak for having like Victory Saber and Victory Leo and Leo Kaiser and things like that. I don't have the big heavy hitter expensive sets, but these guys are commanding quite a bit of money on the secondary market, and he is quite cool, and he does look good on a shelf. Things to definitely watch out for. Watch out for the looseness of nose cone's legs, basically for balance reasons. Look out for the front of the car on nose cone, the condition of the sliding plastic joint, because that can be an issue. Also, let's see, also look out for general wear on strafe. Mine actually has a big stress mark on the wing, and I may at one point need to get a second strafe, just one that doesn't have that. That seems to be a problem with this set. And another problem is, like I said, with the nose cone and the balance thing, is this guy is back heavy. You've got the nose cone for Scattershot hanging off the back, as well as Scattershot's legs. So he is a bit back heavy, so that's something you want to watch out for, is the looseness of the legs. Because if you don't have a good set of tight joints for the legs, mainly nose cone, because Lightspeed doesn't bend in any way, but if nose cone isn't very tight, that will affect the bounce and he'll fall back, so that's definitely something to watch out for. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please like my Facebook.
But I never want to